49 Black Sand Beach. It is a small black sand beach right by our hotel. It's in a beautiful gated community. Not a lot of people know about it. You just have to tell the guard that you're going to the beach and they'll let you through. Otherwise, you can't come in.
Look at the scenery here. This is Black Sand Beach here. And the reason why we can be on this beach is because in Hawaii, all beaches have to be public access. So even though this community is a private community, a gated community, they still have to let the public in to have access to this beach. And this is literally like 5 minutes from our hotel. So we're gonna probably spend a little time here and then head to another beach later on this morning. Alright, so we made it to, what is this harbor anyway?
I don't know.
No one knows, but it's a harbor here just south of the Kona airport. And we are going on an amazing adventure today, and it is
night diving with manta rays.
So it's one of the most unique experiences here in the Big Island, or on the Big Island. So you definitely, it's like 5:30 right now. It was a little bit hectic on the way here because apparently they're doing striping on the highway right next to the airport. We were basically stopped for like 40 minutes on the highway. So we were kind of cutting it close, but now we're here. We're about to check in. And so you do it pretty much close to shore. It's probably what, like 20 minutes?
You have to drive, you do drive out, but the actual snorkeling is pretty close to
Yeah,
shore.
we were asking some other folks. They were like, it's 200 or 300 feet off the shore. So basically you're just sitting in the bottom of the ocean and then looking up. And so yeah, hopefully we get some cool videos and photos. So let's go check in.
Welcome aboard the Manta. That's the name of our vessel. We got an amazing crew on board for you guys tonight. We got about a 40-minute trip ahead of us down to an area called Keauhou. Once we get off the dock, guys, we're gonna go around, make sure you guys have all your dive equipment, snorkeling equipment, all that stuff. Once you have all that stuff, scuba divers, you're gonna meet Drew and Jason back here. They're gonna go over your dive gear with you.
Okay, so we don't have our own footage and photos from our own GoPro because we don't have the proper case. We didn't bring the waterproof case. We were supposed to rent it from the dive outfitter, but for some reason they didn't have one available for us that day. Our friend did get one. Unfortunately, he hasn't downloaded the footage yet off the SD card that they gave him. It was overall a very interesting and unique experience. Definitely something you should do when you're in the Big Island or on the Big Island. You know, we've dove quite a few times. We're not expert divers by any means, but this is not a very hard dive at all, right? You're just literally sitting on the bottom. But all the other dives that Melissa and I have done, you swim around and go different places and things like that. We did do a refresher dive in Oahu. However, we've never done a dive that you just literally sit at the bottom and are looking up at the manta rays that are coming by. And so that kind of freaked us out a little bit. Both Melissa and I, after we had come up and debrief a little bit, we were both saying, yeah, it was kind of uncomfortable just kind of to sit there and not have to move around. So I mean, you're just kind of trying to calm yourself down, get into a comfortable seating position, because you kind of have to sit either Indian style or on your knees or however. What we found best was to be able to just like sit back and look up like that, would then have your tank be resting on the bottom of the sea floor. What they have set up is this ring of lights on the bottom of the sea floor. They shine them up and it attracts all the plankton and things like that, and then those plankton will then attract the manta rays to swim over. And really these manta, so we were sitting on the bottom for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so before we saw the mantas come and swim by us. So there's a group of divers, so there's probably on every night there's probably 10 to 15 dive boats that go and bring divers down, and there's also snorkelers on the top. We're all basically sitting around a campfire. Basically it's what it looks like underwater with the lights shining in the middle of the ring. You also have your own powerful flashlight that you can shine, and they say, of course, not to shine it in the manta's eyes and that stuff, but you can shine it at the body, and then you're supposed to be holding your light up, and so that's of course what attracts all the plankton and everything. So it was a really cool experience though. When the mantas did arrive, there'll be like one, generally speaking, there'll be one that'll swim by, and they'll basically do kind of a swoop down and then graze, literally almost touch your head, and then go back up and then do a loop and then kind of go back and forth, probably 4, 5, 6 times for each one. And then the other mantas will come and do the same. So we probably saw 6 or 7, maybe there was about 8 or so, yeah, somewhere in there, 6 to 8 different manta rays was what they were telling us that we saw. The people who operate the tours, they could tell distinctly, because each manta ray has its own like distinct shape and dots and stripes and things like that, so they could tell like who's who. and they also named them. So a big part of the tour that we found out was it's a big conservation effort as well. So it's definitely very cool. Hopefully, that's something that you guys will be able to do when you are in the Big Island. Is definitely unique, definitely something we highly recommend.